Happy Friday, Philadelphia Eagles. Now today is presented by Rhone. You can get 20% off your order site-wide if you head to rhone.com/chatsports and make sure you use the promo code chatsports. A loaded Philadelphia Eagles now on the docket for today. Could the Birds sign linebacker Bobby Wagner after he was released by the Los Angeles Rams? Michael Brockers also let go by the Detroit Lions. Could he be an interior target on the Eagles defensive line? And a lot of these mock drafts continue to have the Eagles drafting Bijan Robinson, a move that I would love depending on where the Philadelphia Eagles draft. First, though, during our watch parties, we had all of these Super Chat giveaways. We appreciate everybody for all of your donations that came in, but on a 9 Live show, YouTube actually has a super thanks function where you can donate outside of live videos. All you have to do is hit this icon here to my left. It's the heart with the $sign, and you can send in any donation that you please. And whoever does send in a super thanks, I'm going to give you a shout out on Monday's show. In advance, we do appreciate it. All right, let's hop into it. Bobby Wagner released by the Los Angeles Rams, and he immediately becomes a sought-after linebacker target for really all teams in the NFL, regardless of the scheme, because this guy is one of the all-time greats. It's a move that saves the Rams about $12 million heading into 2023. And what this means for the Philadelphia Eagles, TJ Edwards going to be a free agent. And because he was one of the highest-rated linebackers in the NFL this past year, he could have an opportunity to get paid and at a price tag that the Eagles cannot afford. Another linebacker on this roster from this past season, Kyzir White, the Philly native, also entering free agency. And as you project forward for Philadelphia heading into the 2023 campaign, coming off this Super Bowl appearance, the Eagles are in a really interesting spot. They don't have a ton of cap space. They have 11 combined starters who are going to be free agents. They cannot re-sign everyone. And for the Eagles, what is their philosophy going to be? Is Howie Roseman going to get creative financially with restructuring contracts in order to open up some cap space to bring some of those free agents back to Philadelphia? Or are they going to have a little bit of a youth movement combined with some of the marquee players who are already under contract? I could see the Eagles drafting 2 rookie defensive starters and starting them this upcoming season, and then in year 2, Nakobe Dean and Jordan Davis having a larger role within this defense. And in that instance, you won't be able to re-sign TJ Edwards. And maybe you let go of Fletcher Cox and or Javon Hargrave. But for Bobby Wagner, this is interesting for a couple of reasons. Yes, he's 32 years old, but he's coming off yet another marvelous season in which he had 140 tackles, 6 sacks, 10 tackles for loss, and 2 interceptions. And he's not the premier player that he once was. And of course, he's a little bit long in the tooth because he's been in the league for about a damn decade balling out. And he could go to an organization like the Eagles who can't afford him as much as maybe another team, but maybe they'd be able to bring him in for a cheap deal for a team that's contending for a Super Bowl, and Wagner looking for another Super Bowl ring. In 2022, he was once again great, and he was once again very durable. When he was targeted, gave up a completion percentage of about 69%. Not great, but as a coverage linebacker, it's really just not something that you always look at. 359 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and 5 pass breakups. In coverage, maybe he's becoming a little bit of a liability to a certain degree because he is a little bit older, but he is still a linebacker who can really cause damage all around the field. And despite being 32 years old, Wagner was the highest graded inside linebacker in the NFL. And that's another accolade on top of what he's already accomplished in what is going to be a career that results in a brown jacket in Canton, Ohio as an NFL Hall of Famer. A 6-time first-team All-Pro is Wagner, a 3-time second-team All-Pro. So he's been on an All-Pro team 9 times in his NFL career. He's gone to 8 Pro Bowls, has led the NFL in tackles twice, and a member of the 2010s All-Decade team. Now, of note here, this move of the Rams releasing him, not official until the new league year starts on March 15th. Tampering starts on March 13th. So the Rams at this point really don't have any trade leverage. But if the Eagles needed to trade for him, there's a couple of things that would have to happen and a couple of specifics that they would need to meet financially. His cap hit, if he were to get traded, $12.75 million, pre-June 1 cut, the Rams would save $5+ million. After that, they'd save $8.25 million. If he's traded prior to June 1, the savings, nearly $9 million, and the new team would owe him $11 million in base salary in 2023. So for the Philadelphia Eagles, the only realistic shot of signing Wagner or having him on this football team is if they can actually sign him, if he is actually a free agent. That would be the only way, because if you trade for him, you can't afford to pay him $11 million this upcoming season. So what do you think? Bird Gang, we want to hear from you down in the comment section. Should the Eagles pursue Bobby Wagner? G for go get him, Howie Roseman. C for I'm calling cap. There's no chance. Let us know down below in the comment section. Philadelphia Eagles now, before we continue on with some juicy buzzings around the Birds, is presented by Rhone. 20% off your entire order if you head to Rhone.com/chatsports and use the promo code chatsports. I'm wearing their commuter shirt as I often do. It's the most comfortable dress shirt in my closet, and it's not even close. Men's closets were due for a radical reinvention and a change. Rhone stepped up to the challenge. Their commuter collection, the most comfortable, breathable, flexible set of products known to man. I love how they're fit in the chest. They have the perfect length. When I was on TV at WNEP in Scranton, sometimes I always had to tuck my dress shirt in, even if I was trying to kick it and relax on an easy Friday, because some of the dress shirts out there are way too long and it just looks a little bit funky. But for Rhone, that's not the case. They help you get ready for any occasion with their commuter collection, which offers comfortable pants, dress shirts, quarter zips, and polos. You never have to worry about what to wear when you have the Rhone commuter collection. I love their comfortable four-way stretch fabric. They also have odor-free technology, and you don't have to worry about going to the dry cleaner any longer. So if you're looking at the price of Rhone shirts, keep in mind that the material is going to be long-lasting, and you no longer have to go to the dry cleaner to take it and get the wrinkles out. So it's RHONE.com/chatsports, Rhone.com/chatsports, promo code chatsports, 20% off site-wide. To another defensive player here who the Eagles could show some interest in. Michael Brockers, the longtime defensive tackle who's been in the league for a minute, former first-round pick out of LSU, was released today on Friday by the Lions after 2 seasons with Detroit. That frees up $10 million. This is an 11-year All-Pro who played 6 games in 2022 because of injury. But prior to last year, he had missed 7 games total in 10 years. His career stats, very well accomplished for a guy who can be, at this point in his career, a rotational defensive tackle. 160 games played, so experience, check. 29 sacks, he's not really a big sack maven. 64 quarterback hits in those 160 games, that's good. Good against the run, solid against the pass, and a total of 52 tackles for loss. This is a depth piece for Philadelphia if they do want to explore it, where if you lose Javon Hargrave, who could get honestly $20 million in free agency, as well as Fletcher Cox, you start Jordan Davis, you sign a guy like Michael Brockers, and that can be one of those rotational pieces along the defensive line, and maybe you can bring back an Ndamukong Suh if he wants to run it back, and or a Linval Joseph. Milton Williams, that's a player to look out for heading into year 3 at defensive tackle for the Eagles. Make sure you subscribe to us here on the channel. We are less than 200 people away from 42,000 subscribers to honor the great, the legend, Kayvon Wallace. Kind of sarcastic there. But daily shows all year. That is not sarcasm. That's not a joke, as we give you the most informative, entertaining, consistent content. So if you love the Eagles and you want to stay in the know with everything that happens with this football team, hit that subscribe button down below. A lot of mock drafts continue to have the Philadelphia Eagles taking Bijan Robinson, and this is fascinating for a couple of reasons, because Bijan is an absolute freak, and the last 2 years at Texas, he's been arguably the best all-around player in college football, and when you dissect NFL talent heading into the 2023 NFL Draft, Bijan Robinson is up there. There's a new nickname for Bijan Robinson, deemed by yours truly, Box Office Bijan. And I think it's fascinating that a lot of these mock drafts have Bijan Robinson heading to the Philadelphia Eagles, because he might be the best pure football player in this draft. And him in this offense, with Jalen Hurts running the RPO, with this great offensive line, given the fact that he can run in between the tackles but also get out to the perimeter, absolutely lethal. And coming out of the backfield and running routes as a slot wide receiver, this guy could be the next Christian McCaffrey, maybe even a little bit stronger and better. But here's the big question with Bijan Robinson and whether or not he's going to fall to the Eagles at number 30, because the running back position has become expendable. You can find really good players in the mid to late rounds or pick up one for cheap, and they can be a consistent producer. There's no way that Howie Roseman, given the way that he thinks about the game of football and how he evaluates talent and how he takes into account the importance of certain positions, is going to draft Bijan Robinson at number 10. So they're only going to take him if he's in play at number 30. He's worthy of a first-round pick. But at what point is he going to go? Because the philosophy on taking running backs in the first round has certainly changed over the last couple of years, as the NFL is now more of a pass-happy league. If he is available at number 30, the Eagles should take him. He is more skilled of a running back and as a pass catcher than Miles Sanders. And because he'd be a rookie, even if he's a first-round pick, he'd be cheaper than Miles Sanders, who's hitting free agency, who rushed for more than 1,100 yards this past year, had 11 touchdowns, a career year, but in free agency. Sanders, also known as Booby, could pick up between $8 to $10 million. You're not paying that to Bijan Robinson, and he might be the better player. What he's done the last 2 years at Texas, phenomenal, stunning, jaw-dropping, as a runner and as a pass catcher. 1,100 rushing yards in 2021 to go along with 26 catches, 295 receiving yards, 15 total touchdowns, and an average yards per carry of 5.8. It was hard to duplicate what he did in 2021, but he did that in 2022. He was even better. He ran for nearly 1,600 yards. Average yards per tote, 6.1. He had 19 catches for 314 yards. On a wheel route against a linebacker, good night, dust. And total touchdowns at 20. I would love Bijan Robinson to the Eagles. He could be a game changer in this offense for opposing defenses trying to game plan against Hurts and Bijan in that backfield. You're not sure who's going to keep the ball, if Hurts is going to run it, if Bijan's going to run it, or if Bijan is going to go out to receive a pass from Jalen Hurts. Here's what CBS Sports had to say in their latest mock draft about him falling to the Eagles at number 30. The rest of the league, folks, doesn't want this to happen. Robinson running behind the league's best offensive line sounds like a blast for Philadelphia, not so much for Eagles opponents. So with that, we round out today's show with this. If Bijan is available at number 30, you're in the shoes of Howie Roseman. What would you do? T for take him, P for pass, more important positions out there. Let us know. Have a fantastic weekend. Make sure you subscribe, and we appreciate all of you for watching.